We got a question from one of our Facebook followers, Diego Fabricio Diaz Palomo. I hope I'm saying that right. He says, I'd like to know the approach to get this awesome, really dark cinematography, because even in exteriors with sunlight, it looks very dark. Who wants to take that one? So both are laughing. So this is going to be a good answer. Let's start with you, Igor, since you sort of set the pace with the first two.
I mean, the idea is to technically, well, it's very simple. Technically, you try to bring the highlights and midtones as far down as you can, and as you do that, you open up the blacks. So what you create, your entire image is happening in these murky tones, and you don't have the image that is stretched, that is like, the whites are white and blacks are black, but everything is kind of pulled down into those dark, murky tones. But yeah. I think in general, the idea was to have that kind of brownish, greenish, dusty, dirty look, and exteriors were treated as the interiors as well. Like it's instead of developing an image that has highlights that are blooming, we brought everything down and kept it in that range of murky range. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that, Zach? The idea of this dark cinematography and how you achieved it?
Yeah, I mean, we were really working in the bottom half of the image, or even really just the toe. I mean, there were times, where Michael Kim, our DIT, was kind of my therapist, and I just had to double check, like, we're sure this is good. We're sure this is okay. It's really dark. Yeah, but I mean, I think though that style creates a really just a beautiful, this kind of beautiful kind of painterly, pastel-y texture that that's just, it's like it's the only way you can get it is with that kind of compressing the range of the image.
I think in general, there's I forgot now who said that, but he was referring to photography, and he said the good photography is always on the edge of the disaster, like on the edge of catastrophe where like everything is going to fall apart. So pushing it into that territory kind of excites me, like if we and also like the idea of hiding is something that excites me a lot in cinematography, because it's if you present everything to the audience, if it's all out there, they don't have anything to do, they're just receiving the information. But if you hide things in the darkness or in the murkiness, then suddenly people have to work, the eye has to work, the eye has to wander through the image, and you guide the eye through like focus and bright elements, and then you break it up, and then you have a bright scene that kind of wakes people up, and then you go back. So I think that's the philosophy behind it.
Oh, we're going to talk about focus. Don't you worry. But before, I just want to talk, just to kind of round out this thing. You say you're working in the toe, you're working in the bottom half of the image. What are you talking about? Your color grade approach, or are there things that you're actually doing on camera, in camera, on set with filtration and different things to work in that toe, as you say?
Yeah, I mean that's on set. That's in camera. Where we're dealing with underexposing in camera, and then also at the DIT level, further massaging and pushing things down.
And you start with lookup table. We start with a lookup table that is already low contrast, and that will allow you to actually bring the image further down. So when you have a lookup table that is where the colors and the brightness and contrast is not stretched, but it's kind of like already in the middle. Then once you bring it a little bit further down, exposing it, you already are close to that look. So there is not. Obviously, there is some stuff to be done in a DIT tent, but the starting point is already there.
It's really close. Yeah. Yes.
So are you just setting, like you're looking at the monitor and you're saying, okay, I'm going to, instead of having my whites at, 90 or whatever, we'll have them at 60 or something. Like, do you kind of set these parameters and just use them as your guide throughout the series?
I certainly was. I was looking at often where my highlights were and thinking in those terms, 50, 60 IRE. And I don't know if Igor, if you were doing the same approach wise or just kind of.
Yes. I think this was the approach for the series.
Did either of you use any filters on your cameras?
I don't think so. Nothing. I mean, nothing big. Here and there, polarizer, ND grads, and lots of NDs.
Oh, a lot of grads.
Yeah.
I did a lot of grads, which was great.
And lots of NDs to bringing down the exposure, and that's about it. I don't know. Did we use? I don't think we used anything else. Did you use anything, Zach?
No, I mean, I ended up getting. We had the Sony Venice, so we had internal NDs, and I ended up bringing in a half stop ND even because I was finding when dealing with, we were so specifically working in this lower part of the image that even getting to that half stop level was really important. Because everything we tried to shoot wide open. So we really were, the only filtration I was really using were NDs and grad NDs to control exposure. We also used diopters for quite a few close-ups, and we were switching between. We tried to use Leica Rs as much as possible, and then we had some Cooke S7s to fill out our set. And the Leica Rs, that's instead of a filter, those lenses have so much character that they really, I think, impart a lot of the feeling to the image.